Judging by your reactions, I say I made the right choices. Anyway, my friends, make sure you haven't forgotten any of your belongings, and let's move on to the next stop. The most popular amongst the 10 joys of Langqiu. As soon as the people hit the streets, no one can resist playing a round of flip and win. Hey, Master Song-Che, you brought friends. How many rounds this time? My friends here have important matters to attend to, so we don't have time to get into it. Can you do us a favor by removing the guaranteed and limited bits and simplify the gameplay? This way, everyone can have a good time. Oh, certainly. You've supported my business many times before. It's the least I can do. After a short wait, Xu completed the trial version of Flip and Win. In short, the 10 cards in front of you consists of 1 gold, 2 purple, 6 blue, and 1 black. If you draw a golden, purple, or blue card, I'll give you a small prize of the same rarity. Keep in mind that since we're playing a simplified version of the game, their value won't be too high. However, if you draw the black card, all the other cards will be rendered invalid. So if we draw the black card, it's game over? Correct. But you can just go for another round. Think of it as testing your luck. Relax and have fun. Let me see. Miss Corelli and Miss Helia drew a blue card, and Miss Anadina drew a purple card. Now it's your turn. Hesitation leads to defeat. Draw. What a shame. Another blue card. I knew it. Well, at least it's not black. Do you want to take a shot, Song-Che? Alright then, I'll join in on the fun. It's a black one. Well, Master Song-Che has had her fair share of golden in this life before, so 1 black card doesn't mean much. Yeah, from another perspective, it's actually quite an exciting experience. Although this round is invalid, could you do me a favor and pick up the card in the top left corner? And perception, when did you arrive? I've been here the whole time, you just didn't notice me. At any rate, why don't you take a look at that card? Alright, I'll take a look for you. A golden card. You're really something in perception. After all, you've already eliminated many distracting options for me. If I can't win even after all that help, then maybe I made the wrong decision in joining this game. This is just for fun, so there are no real stakes here. You're right. Now that we've experienced the culinary and gaming side of Amber Street, it's time for some enjoyment. Does food not count as joy in Langqiu? Well, to be honest, I'd already eaten quite a bit before everyone arrived. I'm still digesting. Of course, if everyone's hungry, I can. It's okay. We're not that hungry, but a certain someone seemed to be dozing off. I'm not sleepy, honestly. Alright, I believe you. Shall we get going then? The next place we're going is one of the iconic buildings on Amber Street. The view from here is fantastic. Yeah, standing here gives you a panoramic view of the whole town. You won't get sleepy when the wind's blowing in your face. I'm coming. What's wrong? Nothing. It's just my first time being a tour guide, and I can't help but worry if the tourists will find the sights satisfactory. But seeing everyone's enthusiasm, I can safely assume this trip is going well. Yeah, I'm enjoying the tour. A sudden gust of wind lifted the dusty cloak and golden hair, stirring up a long-forgotten memory. As a guide, she should have shared some interesting historical anecdotes to leave her new friends with an unforgettable impression on Langqiu. But for some reason, as she tried to do so, her selfishness caused her to alter her words with an alarming rapidity. To be honest, looking down from this bridge, there's nothing special about the view. But if you think about how the people below are looking at us, it does lend it a unique feeling. It's like being on stage. Bingo! Speaking of stages, there's an old story related to them that I feel is apt here, since the atmosphere is already set. Of course I want to hear it. You know, there's something to be said for playing along and creating a little suspense. I didn't think of that. But since there aren't many objections, I'll get on with the story. The story begins a long time ago. Back then, Oxy and Langqiu were still united as one, and the protagonist of the story hadn't even received her own name yet. However, for the sake of convenience, let's call her Girl for now. The girl had been living in a gloomy and cramped orphanage for as long as she could remember. The orphanage consisted of only 4 floors, yet housed over 100 homeless children. In such an environment, anything that could take them out of themselves was alluring. Toys were in high demand, books were luxury items, and any meal with meat was a privilege enjoyed solely by the strong. The children in the orphanage learned to live in a dog-eat-dog world from a young age. If they wanted to play with a toy, they had to fight for it. If they wanted to eat, they had to snatch it from others. For our girl, unable to stubbornly challenge the child despots who hoarded the pastries and monopolized the toys, she was bereft of calculated strategies. As a result, she naturally faced exclusion. She was a perfectly ordinary person who never stood out in any particular way as she grew up. If it weren't for a fortunate turn of events, we probably wouldn't be hearing her story today. We usually refer to such people as fools. However, even though she had to choke down leftovers and scrub off shoe prints on her clothes on a daily basis, she still carried hope in her heart, yearning for life to give her a reason to be optimistic. Well, I guess fortune does favor the foolish. While preparing for a performance, the girl unexpectedly was cast in the role of a villain princess. The character was a particularly loathsome sort, arrogant, selfish, and temperamental, though dressed in magnificent attire. At that moment, she suddenly felt an unprecedented sense of happiness. As tears welled up in her eyes, she began to envision her own future. She actually likes playing a villain. That's not necessarily true. It's just that she realized that in a specific time and space, all the dazzling spotlights and the audience gaze would be focused solely on those who are adorned in a princess dress. Even though it was a role that no one wanted to play, she believed it would give her a stage, one big enough to work a miracle that would allow her to leave the orphanage. Although she couldn't properly explain why, she believed firmly that she would be noticed by the upper class and could transform herself overnight. However, even while holding on to that belief, she also knew deep down that was impossible. All she needed was a fantasy to hold on to. When one fantasy is shattered, there will always be another. In a sense, the opportunity to perform was perhaps the most realistic among all her fantasies. After all, a princess dress really can sparkle, and given the right time and circumstances, she would be able to wear one and transform into someone more respectable than anyone else. Most importantly of all, no one would be competing with her then. It provided an ideal environment conducive to fantasy. Just like many years later, she would meet many people who fantasize about dying on a warm bed, surrounded by loved ones, with no regrets in life. Yeah, everything was supposed to be, at least, as long as. There wasn't a power outage that night. A power outage? That's quite sudden. Could it be? Who knows? After all, during the days every household had candles as a backup, power outages were fairly common. Maybe it's like dropping a piece of toast better side down, unlucky in a mundane way. But merely due to the fact it happened at the moment the girl was about to speak on stage, it unexpectedly became an event that changed her life. Naturally, the girl couldn't possibly have realized that at the time. She was lost in her own thoughts, constantly wondering, was this the wrong time for her to go on stage? Had she missed her mark? Or maybe she simply wasn't worthy of being a princess or a part of the upper strata. After pondering over such thoughts, the girl finally mustered up the courage she needed. And as our grand tale comes to its conclusion, she clutched the hem of the princess' dress that didn't belong to her and ran. By the time the lights came on, she was long gone, having left both the stage and the orphanage and embarking on her journey as a wanderer. She thus went on to become a con artist.
午休之后，通常是大小姐们遛狗的时间，可我没有养狗，这段时间该怎么打发好呢
？Hey there, young blood. Got a keen nose, huh? Did you catch a whiff of this exclusive scoop I've got? Word on the street is, I stumbled upon some pretty juicy news. Bringing you into the fold won't hurt. As a journalist, I solemnly swear that the story is absolutely authentic. So what do you say? Interested? What news? Well, don't go broadcasting it everywhere. According to reliable sources, aliens have landed in Oxia. Where did you hear that from? I wouldn't dream of revealing my sources. My journalistic integrity is beyond reproach. According to eyewitnesses, these aliens have heads as big as flying hover cars, 4 hands, and 20 legs. What's with that look? Let me tell you, this news is absolutely legit. Harold and Maureen both swear they've seen it. Hey, don't walk away. No worries, let's just maintain a little mystery, shall we? In a few days, this news will hit the headlines and shock the whole of Oxia. Ancient History of the Phoenix Continent, Part 3. Middle Ages. Shenxiu Empire, year 1312 to year 1496 of the old calendar. After 150 years of warring aristocratic groups during the Second Warring State period, the Shenxiu Empire arose as the winner, reuniting the Phoenix Empire under its rule. Through state exams, the empire further opened classes to the common folk as well as nobility, and so later generations would take this birth of an empire for commoners as the start of the Middle Ages. As in the pre-war times, the Phoenix continent would become a global power once more. In demonstrating its influence, it would spread its inventions to the rest of the world, imparting an undeniable impact on the evolution of civilizations worldwide. The Phoenix continent's common tongue would go on to be an undeniable lingua franca, while the birth of primitive printing press technology signaled that the height of the prosperity during the Middle Ages was close at hand. The Tang Dynasties period, year 1496 to year 1711 of the old calendar. The Tang Dynasties period was a unique time in history. In its short early period, 1496 to 1537, the central authority would change hands 8 times, averaging one dynasty every 5 years, with more than 27 different kinds of ruling forces. By the middle and late period, there were only 3 remaining powers in the Phoenix continent: Xinjiu Empire, Minjiu Empire, and Fangjiu Empire, peacefully coexisting with one another for 150 years, only fighting periodically from time to time. While this period may have seen a time of political instability and constant war, these localized peoples had a limited impact on the region's increasing material prosperity, as they entered a period of unprecedented cultural and artistic prosperity. During this time, the influence of handicrafts and commerce on the economy continued to rise, while the various ruling powers adopted pragmatic attitudes in competition with one another. The attitudes would also prove helpful in breaking down the traditional agrarian mentalities. Changes experienced by the social-economic base during this time, coupled with innovation of gunpowder, a key military technology, had laid a foundation for a new age.
I have a meeting later, and I'd appreciate if you could go to the Sea of Data monitoring room and get a few documents from Alam. Documents? Yeah, our company is responsible for development consulting regarding the Sea of Data, so we have a close relationship with the monitoring agency. Alright, I'll leave it to you then. Thank you so much. Have a safe trip. Hello, Miss Alam. We're here to help Shilu retrieve some documents. Ah, the impatience of today's youth. Allow me to check for you. Just a moment, please. Maybe a little longer. Just... Do we still have to wait? By the look on your face, I think you already know where the file is. That's right. Have you heard of Giulia? She's my childhood friend, a historian. A few days ago, she accidentally left the unfinished manuscript of her new book in my possession. Ah, so you returned Shilu's file back to her by accident. No, the situation is a bit more complicated. Giulia's son took the file.
跟着我。
Oh no, didn't think there'd be so many girls and kids. Did I scare them? Should I apologize? Kids? I suggest you refrain from judging people based on appearances. Otherwise, we might view you solely as a rebellious teenager with brute strength. No need for an apology, but there is something I'd like to ask for your help. That was unimpressive. Fine, what kind of help do you need? A few days ago, did you accidentally take a document from Miss Alam? Oh, so you're that woman's lackey. Let me warn you, if you don't want to meet a grim fate, don't meddle in our personal grudges. No, actually, we just... Stubborn as a horse, huh? Alright then, let's settle this feud in the usual alleyway. Actually, it's stubborn as a mule. Do we have to resort to violence? Wait, any form of fighting is prohibited inside the Antares Tower. I don't want to get in trouble for such weird reasons. But we're aliens. Just kidding. We won't lay a hand on ordinary people. Besides, fighting is troublesome. Whew, that gave me quite a scare. But in that case... Hey, how about we exchange some chits? Chits? Do you mean ransom? Oh, it doesn't have to be so formal. No, the so-called chits are vouchers for exchanging rare items. How about we exchange your documents for equally important items in my possession? Important items? Well, let's see what you can bring on the table. Since you're a member of the alley, I assume you always need a trusty weapon. I happen to have a decent dagger. Are you open to exchanging it for a document? Really? If you dare to deceive me, rest assured, Boss Yusef, people from the alley value honesty above all else. I never deceive anyone. Alright then, it's a deal.
就在那里。就那石头的风门。
It should be nearby. Let me take a look. Songque, what are you looking for? Back in the old days when I roamed the streets, I misplaced a dagger around here. Ah, I found it, right there. Doesn't it look exquisite? After all these years, it hasn't rusted. Song-Che, it makes me feel guilty that you're giving away something so significant for such a trivial matter. Let's consider another solution. It's not that important. I still have around 100 of these daggers. But is it wise to hand over such a regulated weapon to a youngster with little experience? Despite his good nature, what if he acts impulsively? I've already taken that into account. Song-Che drove the dagger into her own arm. With a loud clang, the blade retracted. Look, it's a replica. In the past, I used this dagger to deceive many people, but I have abandoned it here to avoid trouble. It's an antiquated artifact from Langqiu, more than enough to deceive, help that young man. You truly live up to your reputation, Song-Che. I'll take that as praise for my meticulous nature. Be careful, Song-Che. Forget about it. Let's take care of them first, and then we'll go after that.
开宴在即，乐不享乐，处死方休。时机正好，锁定目标。别客气，好了，画上完美的句号吧。来吧，天上天下，只此一击。站得太高了，到此为止。40米。一鼓作气，出发！一鼓作气，出发！希纳迪亚正在接近目标。附近有崩坏能反应，要小心哦！一鼓作气，出发！支配的手段有很多，哪一种更适合你们呢？就在那里。
Here, I brought it for you. This is... Can I really keep this dagger? Of course, I keep my word. Now, can you return the file to me? Of course. After this transaction, we'll be bodies of the alley. If you encounter any trouble, just mention the name of Giuseppe, and I'll be there in no time.
我还得该省省该。跟着我，你带路吧。
Phew, you finally returned. I thought you might have gotten lost in the sea of data. It was quite an adventure. As long as the file is intact, everything is fine. Thank you. Alright, here as thanks, a mini cake from Sweet Tooth, a rare limited edition. Wait, didn't you mention you had a meeting to attend? Video conferences count as meetings too, right?